GCDayer, and this is my journey. You know, it all happened when I was quite small. I was 4 years old in 1989, and I just started singing around the house, because I would listen to a lot of pop records that we had there in our home. And so when I was very young, I would listen to the records or the songs in the radio, and then I would sing, I think that everything started right away from there. Then, while I grew up, my favorite toys were always musical instruments, toy guitars and keyboards and that kind of stuff. But I think that when I was a child, I really never thought seriously about becoming a musician, I remember quite well those days, back in the late 80s and part of the 90s, but I never really thought seriously about becoming an artist and musician. Then when I was 12, 13 years old, while I was at school, in the mid-90s, I just started playing guitar and then the keyboards, even if I don't remember what I really thought to play at first. I think it was the keyboards before the guitar, but it's all important. And that's when I really started to write some songs, My first song was written in 1997, almost 20 years ago, and it was a quite simple song, that I wrote for a girl that I was in love with at school, and it was a song called Loving You, It was in English back from start, because the click, the thing that really pushed me into the music was to become a Beatles fan, in 1995. I was only 10 years old, but I remember that. I can recall that I just, after listening to the Beatles and after watching them in the TV, I just said, this is my favorite band, and they'll be my favorite band, for the rest of my life. As I told you, I started writing songs back in 1997, and I just developed, my playing and the composition of songs. My first songs were quite silly. Some of them had catchy melodies, especially in the chorus, and I always thought that I could make something out of 1, 2, 3 songs that I wrote at a time. And then when I was 16 in 2001, I just had my first gig, and I just started to write songs in a more serious way. I just started thinking when I was 16, well, let me write the best that I can, and maybe someday I can make a record, why not? Impossible is nothing, and the sky is the limit, so, I've always been quite positive. But of course, when you're a teenager, you're so naive, and of course you're positive about that, Now I really know that, well, this work is quite serious, but I'm not going to become a rock and roll star, That's not why I'm here, It's not why I'm talking to you now, after all these years, But this was my background. And then at a high school, I just started searching around for the Beatles' influences, that were mainly based on 50s rock and roll, Chuck Berry, Little Richard, and all that stuff, I can put Elvis into that package, but I really prefer Carl Perkins and that kind of stuff, Charlie Lewis, and all that, Richie Valens, and so on and so on. And so, but you know, everything just started so quickly, in a flash, I can't recall everything, but this was part of my background. Right.